Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we have February's TBR. So I have a ton of books on this TBR. I have a whole lot. Also, welcome to Garage Gym Chats. If you're new here, I sometimes film videos in my garage gym because I kind of feel like I talk better in an informal setting instead of sitting with the lighting and everything all fancy in my office. So we're in my garage. Hopefully the audio is okay. We're gonna talk about some books that we want to read. So I have a lot of books that I want to read. Some are for book clubs, some are for readathons, and that's pretty much all that I'll be talking about in this TBR are just the books I want to read for those things. So the first readathon that I want to talk about is the Black Author Readathon. This is hosted by quite a few different people who are on both Instagram and BookTube. And I believe Steph's Romance Book Talk has a video talking about it, so I will link her video down below so you can go and check her out and find out more about this readathon. I am really excited to participate in this, and I have some wonderful books that I can't wait to read for it. The first one is going to be the final book in this trilogy. This is the Grip Trilogy by Kennedy Ryan, and the last book in this series is Still. I started reading this trilogy last month because of Jessin from Jessin Reads Romance. This is her, I believe that this is maybe her favorite series, and I wanted to know why, and I am so glad I did because now it is one of my favorite series, and I love these characters so much. This is one of my favorite reads in January. I just, like, the only thing that I can really say about this, because I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to describe just how much I love this series, but when I think about an epic love story, I think about Grip and Bristol, and I can't wait to read the last book. I just love it so much, and if you haven't read this series, please do, because it's so good. Anyways, Kennedy Ryan is a new favorite author of mine, so I'm definitely going to be reading that for the Black Author Readathon. And then another book that I want to read is The Wicked Marquess by Stacey Reed. This is a historical romance. I don't even know honestly what this is about, but I know it just recently came out, I believe the end of December, and I really like Stacey Reed from what I've read from her so far, so I want to give this a try too. And the next book I have to read is from one of my favorite authors, and that is The Wreckage of Us by Britney C. Cherry. I love Britney C. Cherry's book so much. I immediately pre-ordered both the physical and the ebook of this, and I just haven't read it yet. So every time I try to read a Britney C. Cherry, like, I have to go in prepared because I know it's gonna emotionally wreck me, but they're also just so good and I love them so much. So I have really high hopes for this one. I love Britney C. Cherry, can't wait to read this. And another book that I have is one that I actually didn't know anything about until it showed up in a book box that I won this book box. Bookish Kelly on Instagram was having a giveaway and I won her giveaway, and it was from Love Sweet Arrow, and they put together, I think it was a Friends to Lovers book box, but this was the book that they sent me. This is written by a Black author. Her name is Cynthia Williams. It says she has loved romance novels since reading her first one at the age of 13. And this is called Scandalous Secrets. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. It says senatorial candidate Byron Rubidoux always does the right thing. After years of focus and dedication, his life and campaign are going exactly to plan until a blackmailer jeopardizes everything. Zoe Hammond hardly recognizes the refined and handsome politician Byron has become. So I think that they were friends in college and now scandal and they come together, but I think this is a really cute cover and I'm really excited to read this. I think it will be really good, and I think it will be a fun short read because it's less than 400 pages, so it'll be good. I'm excited about this one. And then I have some books on my Kindle that I want to read that I just haven't gotten to yet, so hi.
Hello. Hello. You like my lip gloss?
He does. So for sure I want to read Rebecca Weatherspoon's series. The first one is Harbor. Or no, this isn't the first one, this is the third one. These were just recently on sale on Kindle, and so I bought this one. I don't really know anything that this is about other than I've heard wonderful things about this, and I really love the covers and I can't wait to read it. So definitely want to read that one. And another one that I want to read is Work For It by Talia Hibbert. This is part of her small, I think this is, I can't even remember. This is one of her indie published books. Again, I don't really know what this is about. It's Talia Hibbert. I have it on audio too, and I can't wait to read it. So those are all the books that I want to read for the Black Author Readathon. I don't know that I'm, like, this TBR is really huge. I'm not going to read all of these books, but I want to have some options so I can pull from depending on what I'm in the mood for. And I also wanted to mention these books in case you were looking for something to read too. Maybe these would fit for something that you want to read. I do want to say that the Black Author Readathon, they have a bingo board and everything like that. And I just decided I didn't want to do bingo boards because they kind of stress me out, at least right now when I have so much that I want to read. So I just decided to just choose Black authors that I wanted to try or books that I really wanted to get to. And I wanted to make sure they focused on happily ever afters and romance books. So I'm very excited about these. Okay, so now the next readathon that I have books for is for the Fantasy Romance Readathon. Is FaRoFeb or FaRoFeb. It takes the whole month of February, and again, they have a bingo board too, but I opted out of that. I decided I'm not going to do bingo boards. I'm just going to read fantasy romance books, and I picked all adult. Well, one is a YA, but it's kind of a new adult. But I picked all adult fantasy romance books, just depending on what I wanted to read, things I had my eye on, and so here they are. So the first two that I have that I want to talk about are buddy reads with my dear friend Jen from the Book Refuge. And the first one is a reread for me, and it is Aquamore, A Court of Wings and Ruin. You probably know what this is. This is the third book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. And Jen said she wanted to read this, and I was like, I want to read it too. And so she's like, let's read it together. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I want to read this in preparation for the next book, which comes out, which is Nesta and Cassian. I can't remember what that book is called because, you know, I'm on camera and my brain just goes poof. I'll put a picture of it right here. I think it's A Court of Silver Flames. That's the next book. It comes out, I think, February 16th, so that also is on my TBR. I definitely am going to read that probably as soon as it comes out, and I am for sure going to be vlogging that. So if you don't like those books, I hope you still enjoy my vlog. So this one for sure is happening. I have read this book several times and I have loved it more each time I've read it, so I'm really curious to see how I feel about it now on another reread. Another book that I'm going to be buddy reading with Jen is A Touch of Stone and Snow. This is the second book in Milvain's series, Heart of Blood and Ashes, or A Gathering of Dragons series. I am very excited about this. I think that this one has a warrior heroine, and I believe there's like a big snow cat. I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. I just can't wait to read this. I have the audio for this too. I loved the first one so much. It was one of my favorite reads of last year, and I can't wait to read this one. The next book that I want to read is The Veins of Magic, and this is by Emma Hamm. I just recently read Heart of the Fae, which is the first book in this series. This is the second book in that series. I loved Heart of the Fae so much. It was such a beautiful, lush Beauty and the Beast retelling centered around Irish mythology, and I really, really loved it. So I am very excited to read this. Emma Hamm is one of those new to me authors, and I feel like I've been sleeping on her. She has quite a good backlist, so I may get to more than just this book by her, depending on what I'm in the mood for. But I for sure want to read this because the first book left on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I need to know what happens. So that is for sure happening too. Oh, another book that I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this one. I'm so excited for it. I can't even stand it. And that is A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the second book in her Hades and Persephone series. I also just recently read the first one. Really, really enjoyed it. And can't wait to go back into this world. I love the chemistry between Hades and Persephone. This is probably my favorite direct retelling of Hades and Persephone. It's super steamy. It's a little bit gritty. It's just fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Okay, and the next book that I want to read is Dragon Unleashed by Grace Draven. This is the second book in, I think this follows different characters, but this is the second book in the Fallen Empire series. The first one is Phoenix Unbound. I just recently read that, really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was just so beautifully well done, and honestly, I just loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm super excited to get to this one. I honestly don't know much of what it's about though. It does say magic is outlawed and punishable by death. Born with the gift of earth magic, the free trader Helani keeps her perilous secret closely guarded. Huh, interesting. When her uncle buys a mysterious artifact, a piece of Dragabone, Helani knows it's far more than what it seems. Though extinct for more than a century, Dragas still walk among the denizens of the Empire disguised as humans. Malachus is a Draga living on borrowed time. The magic that has protected him will soon turn on him unless he finds a key part of his heritage. Wow. Okay. I honestly didn't even read the back of this. I just saw Grace Draven. It was a new release, and I was like, yep, I need to have that. So I am super hyped for this one. I think it's going to be fabulous. Can't wait to read it. Okay, and then I have a couple of books that are on my Kindle that I really want to read too. These are still fantasy romance. One of them is Entreat Me. This is also by Grace Draven. This is her version of a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So I have started to read more of Grace Draven's backlist, and 2 of her books I have absolutely loved, and a third one for her didn't really work for me. So I'm really curious to see... Oh no! Kazi knocked over the snow shovel and it fell on him. So I'm really curious to see how I feel about this one, if it's going to measure up to the level of Phoenix Unbound, or if it's going to be kind of like Master of Crows was the one by her that I didn't really love. You'll hear more about that in my January wrap-up, which will be coming soon. So I really hope that I love this one. The cover is stunning. I can't wait to read it. Okay, and the next book I have on my Kindle, which is also fantasy romance, is Enchanting the Elven Mage. So this is basically about a human princess, an elven mage, and they have a betrothal that is bound in a curse. This is pitched as for people who love ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and The Cruel Prince, and so I really hope that it delivers on that. Like, I have high expectations for that. I am really interested in this. This is a new author to me. I hope it's wonderful. I really hope. Okay, the next book that I have to read is also on my Kindle. This is Lord of the Fading Lands by C.L. Wilson. This is the first book in her Terran series. This one is, I think, her most well-loved fantasy romance series, and whenever I hear people talk about fantasy romance, it ends up always being brought up. So I'm very excited to get into this series. I read The Winter King in December, January, somewhere around there, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was great. It wasn't without its faults, but I really enjoyed it. So I hear this one is actually better, so I'm excited to read it. I think it's going to be a good one. This one says, tormented Fae King Rain, Woodcutter's daughter Eliseta, who would be the queen, an eternal quest for true love. I'm always here for an eternal quest for true love. Okay, and the last book on my fantasy romance February TBR is The Sea King. This is another one by C.L. Wilson. I just had this on my shelf and I really want to read it, but this one is a thick book. I think it almost has 600 pages, just has 598 pages. So this will probably take some time, but I would really love to read this. I think it has a beautiful cover. I just love the covers of these books. And this one is part of the Summerlee world, which The Winter King was into, but other than that, I don't really know anything about it. Other than I think this follows one of Camzen's sisters, who was the heroine in The Winter King. So yeah, I think it will be good. Honestly, like, I'm just sitting here talking about these books and I just want to read all of them. I want to read all of them. I'm so excited. Aren't books great? Okay, moving on. So the next book that I need to talk about is for my own book club that I host with Jen from the Book Refuge. We have a historical romance book club. Every month we have one or more books to read. This month we have 3 books that we are reading for our book club, and that is the Scandal and Scoundrel series by Sarah MacLean. So the first one is The Rogue Not Taken. The second one is A Scot in the Dark, and the third one is The Day of the Duchess. Now, I actually have read books 1 and 3, so I only have to read the second one. I'm very, very excited about these. We will be having our live show February 27th on my channel, which will be discussing this series, all of the books. And then we will have Sarah MacLean on our show the next day, February 28th. And that's just going to be a conversation with her, and I'm so excited about that. That live show will be on Jen's channel. So we decided to put that show on Jen's channel because sometimes my internet is not super reliable, and last month's live show didn't go so well. So I was like, Jen, can we have Sarah on your channel? Because I don't want that to happen when she's on our show. So Jen said yes. So we're going to have the conversation with Sarah MacLean on Jen's channel, February 28th. I'll have the times listed down below, because I can't remember them right now. Actually, let me just look them up real quick. Okay, here are the times. So February 27th, 5 p.m. MST is going to be the book discussion. So this is where we're going to talk about the books. You know, feel free to come and chat with us, watch the live show, let us know your thoughts and feelings about them. This is going to be the book discussion. And then the next day, February 28th at 5 p.m., MST, we will be having the chat with Sarah McLean. So that one will be on Jen's channel, 28th Sarah McLean Jen's channel, 27th book discussion my channel. So I hope that you guys join us for that. Even if you don't read the books, come and listen to the chat with Sarah McLean because it's going to be fabulous. But you should also read the books because this book was my favorite read of last year, The Day of the Duchess. I love it so much, so I'm super excited about that. So the other books that I have for book clubs are the Seasonally Booked Up book club that Dana and Kelly host. I will have them linked down below as well. They are doing a Winter of the Wallflower read-along, so we've been reading books all year that feature wallflowers. So the books that they have scheduled to read in February are His Mistress by Morning by Elizabeth Boyle. This is for this week, actually. I love Elizabeth Boyle. I'm excited to see what everyone thinks about this one. And then next week, the week after that, is The Duchess War by Courtney Milan. I loved the first Courtney Milan that I read, The Duke Who Didn't, and I have heard great things about this. I'm sure I'm going to love it too. Can't wait for this one. And then we also have The Ruin of a Rake by Sebastian. I am positive I'm going to love this based on how much Kelly loves it. I just feel like it's going to be for me. Kelly and my taste seems to align pretty well, so I'm positive I'm going to love this one. And then the last book for February is Love is a Rogue by Lenora Bell, which I am super excited about reading too. So those are the books that I'm going to be reading for Seasonally Booked Up. I have a lot of reading to do. And then I have one last book that I want to share with you all. So the last book, hi, thank you. The last book that I want to mention is for the Historical Hellions book club. This is hosted by Jess from Peace Love Books and Samantha from Books with Samantha. And the book they have chosen for February is Love Only Once by Joanna Lindsay. This would be my first Joanna Lindsay book, so I'm excited about reading this and seeing how I feel about it. So there we have it. We have so many books to read that I am excited about. They're just stacked and spread out everywhere as I go off camera. See, I know I'm so professional, huh? I'm super excited about all of these. I think it's going to be a great reading month. I'm excited about these readathons. I'm excited about these book clubs. All the good books, all the good romance. Can't wait for it. So let me know what you want to read in February. If you're going to be participating in any of these book clubs or readathons, let's chat about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one.